What is up, podcast family? Welcome back to the Hook It podcast. Today we're on episode number 69, and I'm going to be joined by Swedish slopestyle sensation Max Fredriksson. Before we drop in on this episode, though, I want to talk to you about our show sponsors. Most importantly, I want to reiterate that I'm not here just trying to spam you with shady products that I don't believe in or that I can't vouch for myself. Especially over the last few years, there's been numerous opportunities to sell out and partner with brands that just don't fit our podcast demographic. I wouldn't feel at all comfortable sitting here week in, week out, telling you about the latest mattress, like website, or just terrible product that just doesn't fit what we do here. That's the reason we've had the same sponsors for so long, because they are actually good. The first sponsor / company that we partnered with was Sax Underwear. I 100% though fell into that bracket of buying cheap underwear and also holding onto that underwear for way too long, going through way too many wash cycles and them looking pretty damn bad when I finally threw them away. So Sax, for me, when they came on board, has been a life changer. There's a bunch of different fits as well in the range. So from semi-compression fit to the looser anti-microdermal fit that are really good for long bike rides, hiking, running, cycling. Whatever it is you do, there's a fit of a Sax underwear for you. They all feature the patented ballpark pouch, which, like some of our listeners can attest to, it is insanely comfortable. In fact, they're almost as good as being commando. Almost. They all feature anti-roll waistbands. They are anti-microdermal, again, so that means they never smell. So if you want, you can wear them for a week, whatever. Insert time zone there. And yeah, Sax Underwear are killing the game in the underwear market. They are actually the fastest growing underwear brand in North America right now. For more information, just go to saxunderwear.com. And if you do purchase some from somewhere, just tell them that you heard about them through the Hook It podcast. That would go a long way. We are also supported by 35bikes.com. And again, 35 Bikes make the best bike components for the best prices. Brake pads start at just £6.99. There is a full range of mudguards made here in sunny Sheffield, and they do brake rotors and a bunch of other products on there too. To find out more about 35 Bikes, you can just ask for them in your local bike shop or go to 35bikes.com, and if you enter the promo code podcast, you'll get 20% off your entire order, and we will also ship free globally. All right. So, bit of a different show structure this week. Rather than having some intro music straight away, I thought I'd talk to you really quickly. So, there's been a quick succession of podcasts in 2019. So, apologies for that. I kind of have to throw these in as and when my schedule suits. It's not a full-time gig. So, I just lay them down as and when. So, again, huge thank you to you guys for listening. The podcast has grown exponentially already in 2019, and it's all down to you guys for listening, engaging, sending the kind messages, and getting involved in the podcast too. Which reminds me, every time we release an episode, once you've listened to it, don't forget, head over to iTunes, leave a review, because you could be in with a chance of winning some Sax underwear. Every episode, we give a Sax goodie bag away to someone who's left a review. So for this episode, if your name is Skinny Biker on iTunes, reach out either via an email, a direct message on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, because we've got a goodie bag full of Sax underwear coming out to you. We are also just about to launch a brand new way you can go and listen to the podcast, so keep an eye out for that. Probably going to release that on the next episode, which will be episode 70. And yeah, we've been hectic busy, guys. So we've at Hook It, we've been moving offices. We've got a new brand launching. There's just been so much going on that, again, I'm just laying these down as and when again. So thank you for continuing to support the podcast. It means a lot. Okay, let's get on with today's episode with Max Fredriksson. Quickly hand over to Odub and a little bit of Zeb to bring us in. Enjoy, guys.
Welcome to the Hook It podcast, endorsed by @Odub_23. Add me, tag me. Follow me. Please follow me.
Keep very calm.
Give me all your money.
try to count to 10. Little does it know they're about to begin. Push it too far, you're the killing machine.
That's about it. Should we just hit record?
Yeah, sure.
Boom.
I'm ready, I think.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I think I know now why you don't want to have the camera on, because you've got blonde hair, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't want it, actually.
I only watched that video earlier today, and I'm like,
yeah.
It's amazing. It's really funny, dude. Really, really funny.
Yeah, I look like a chicken.
I like it. I think it actually doesn't look that bad.
I know. Everyone says that too,
Yeah.
but I'm like, my girlfriend was not stoked at all.
Really?
Man.
I remember, right, when I was younger, I lived out in the States, and we lived like in the middle of nowhere in California, and I had this Brazilian friend called Caesar, and one night we just got bored, and we're like, oh, should we just dye our hair? Because like we weren't allowed, it was like a motocross training camp, so we weren't allowed to bring girls back, like we barely knew anybody either, because, you know, we'd only been there for a few months. So this one night we just both dyed our hair like jet black, and it looked so bad. It was atrocious. And I came home, right, like a few months after. My dad picked me up from the airport, and I literally, dude, like I walked straight up to him, and he had no idea who I was. He's like,
no way.
Yeah, it was terrible. I like a different person, because yeah. So that's kind of what it brought those memories up earlier when I was watching the video. I'm like, man, that's funny.
Yeah.
Just dyeing your hair and shit.
Yeah, that was actually happening to me today. I'm going to a PT, like personal trainer, every week.
Yeah.
And today he was just looking at me and like kept going because he was like looking for me. I was like, hey. I was like, oh shit, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't understand it was you.
Oh man, that's funny. So yeah. Anyway, Thank you, man. Thanks for doing the podcast. Really like appreciate you taking the time out to sit and have a chat. And yeah, like I was saying just before we started recording, your agents at RAS Solutions have been amazing. Richard's been super helpful in linking all this together. So. Yeah, again, just appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking the time out. I know you're probably quite busy right now with training and all that stuff, so appreciate it.
Yeah, pressure's mine.
So, let's talk about, about you, because there's no point talking about me. So tell me, man, like when did you first get into mountain biking? That's always a good start, right?
Yeah, that's always a fun one to talk about. Yeah, I guess it was pretty natural, like everyone else. I think I was just riding my bike in the park at home, like the local playground, and then I saw some older kids. They were jumping a little bit, did some no footers and stuff, just on like a super small jump. They dug into like a small hill or something, and I was like, I want to do that. And then then after a while, when I started jumping a little bit, my dad was actually working at Suzuki, so he was all into like motocross and stuff when I was a kid. So he put me on one of them. He realized pretty quickly that it was a bit dangerous because I started jumping on that thing immediately. So then I said, I wanna keep doing it. I wanna race. And he said, well, I'll put you in race BMX. So then I started race BMXing at age 3, I think.
Wow, dude, that's super early.
Yeah, 3 to 5, I think. I was doing race BMX, and then from there, after I got 5, started playing hockey and all those normal things, and just was biking on the side with my friends in the playgrounds and local skate parks, and then after a couple of years, when I realized that biking was actually a sport, I was seeing like Newell Disorder, I was seeing. Then Martin came into I saw him on YouTube and all of that, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. I want to do this. And then, like every other kid, I was just going to the local park every single day for like a couple of years. And then, just bought a new solid bike and went to the park.
Right. So did you carry on doing the race BMX, or was that just not your thing? Or?
I was doing it when I was young, but it was super far away from where we lived, so I kind of quit that. And then I started racing later in my career, but not in career, but like when I was 15 maybe again. But yeah, I was pretty much just freestyling in the playground.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And dude, it's crazy you were so young as well, because I always think about this, that what's cool about Sweden, and I've spent a lot of time in Sweden. I actually used to have a business which was based in Sweden. So I used to spend a lot of time in like just below Stockholm, sort of, God, I always pronounce this wrong, but like Örebro. Is that right?
Örebro.
Yeah. So I used to spend a lot of time there. But so like I love the culture and all that sort of stuff about Sweden. In fact, actually, I need to crack a snooze. I brought some snooze especially for this conversation today.
Nice.
Oh mate, I'm so Swedish. But what I love about Sweden is that you don't start school until you're like 7 years of age. So is that right?
6, yeah.
It's 6, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was 7. Whereas here, like, you know, kids go to school super early, like 4. So there's that extra few years where you can, like, I don't know, ride bikes and just play. And do you know what I mean? And I think that's a massive thing for kids growing up, because here they get pushed into school at like, I think it's, well, my girlfriend is actually a teacher for 4-year-olds.
Okay.
So they're already in school at 4.
Wow.
So yeah, I always love that about Sweden, that there's all this time that you have just playing and like hanging out with your family. And do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah,
and when you said about just, you know, starting BMX at 3, it sort of reminded me of that. Like I said, I love that about Sweden. It's super cool that they do that. So yeah, probably more time on a bike and all that sort of stuff, just hanging out with your family, just doing cool stuff, I think is cool. So okay, sorry, I went on a little bit of a tangent then. I always think about that though. It's kind of crazy. So at what age then did you get to a point where you started to figure out this could be like a career and a job?
A career and a job, I don't know. That was pretty late, I think, but I definitely started like going for it. Like I wanted to get some sponsors, and I wanted to do contests and stuff when I was maybe 14, 15, I think.
Right.
Because I did a couple Swedish ones, and they all went pretty good, and I won a lot of them in my age class. And then I think I was actually having a like full time, not full time, but I was working on 2 jobs before I went pro, just so I could afford having a preseason training, because I was doing the events while I was in school, and I was working on the side as well, just to like get some money so I could go to some events and stuff, because I didn't have any sponsors. And then my friend Anton Tillander, he became pro pretty early, like a couple years before me, and I was just seeing him like he was living my like dream life pretty much. Him and Martin, they were traveling and having these sponsors and contracts and stuff, and they were just full-time pros, and I was working. So that's when I pretty much just decided that I'm gonna put everything I have in life on the side, and I'm just gonna work from the end of summer till the beginning of the spring to save up some money, and then I'm gonna go to Barcelona for 2 months and ride every day.
Right.
So that's what I think, that was like the thing that got me. Yeah, that was the thing that launched my career, I think, because I was riding every day in Barcelona, and I was practicing contest runs every day in Barcelona.
Okay.
And then I went to Vienna King. I still had no sponsors, and I was pre-qualifying into the event. So that's when you like qualify into the qualifying of the event.
Okay. Is that like external, like other events to get to that event, or you have to do that like the day before the actual event, that sort of thing?
The day before, yeah. So I think we are like maybe 30 riders that pre-qualify into those 20 riders that are already qualified for the event. And I think they take 10. Okay. So we're 30 in the event. So I pre-qualified first. Then I wanted to get to finals, but I had no idea. But then I qualified second for finals, I remember, which was like first time for me even being in finals. And I was like, whoa,
wow,
this is crazy.
Wow.
And then I ended up third in the event. So that was my first like real contest that I managed to do good at. And that was back in 2015, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that year pretty much just went on like that. I pre-qualified into the events and made final on a couple podiums. And the year after that, I had a couple contracts in resolution.
Wow. So just to unpack that a little bit, I was looking before on the FMB website, because you can see sort of contest history and stuff. It looks like you started doing a few things in like 2012. On the amateur tour, is that correct as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had one amateur event in Sweden called Slopefest, which is a bronze event, and then I think me and 2 other friends were going to Winterberg for Dirt Masters also.
Okay.
That was very early. That was too early, probably.
Right. What sort of age were you then? Like, how old are you now, actually?
I'm 23 now. I think I was probably 15 or 16.
Dude.
I think. Yeah, big ambitions back then.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, that's super young. And like, were you traveling on your own or family?
We were driving down actually from Sweden, so that took 15 hours. Me and my dad. We did that for 2 years, and then started going with Anton, and
That's interesting, actually, because there's been a bit of a theme on the podcast of, having supportive parents, actually.
Yeah.
So your parents always been really supportive of this like career choice. Did you drop out of school early, or what? What was the deal with that?
Yeah, my parents have been insanely supportive with everything I've done. I did 2 years in school, and then when I kind of like started doing well, that's when I had 1 year left in school, and I kind of dropped out the last year, which I kind of like regret now, but at the same time, no. If I didn't drop out, I might not have been where I am today, but kind of want like a full education now, though.
It's weird, eh? Like, it is. I think, man, I've got strange views on this, because I think that you go to school for so long that by the time you get to 16 or whatever, you're kind of burnt out and you don't know what you want to do anyway, and you just need a break, dude. Like, I did the same thing at 16. Like, someone, here you can leave school at 16 in the UK. Is it 18 in Sweden or not?
After you finish, I think it's 16 as well.
Is it
16? Yeah, okay. You can drop out, but like no one does.
Right.
So.
Yeah, the same actually here. So I don't think it's 16 anymore here. I think it's 17 or 18. But anyway, so when I left school, you could leave at 16 again. You were kind of a bit of a dropout, a bit of a loser, whatever. But, school just wasn't for me at all. Like, I just wanted to get out. I wanted to do my own thing, travel, etc. But then you look back and you go, actually, like, I wish I'd actually like carried on a little bit and maybe learned some more stuff. And I think especially for you guys, but you've got this goal of being a professional mountain biker, but you kind of always have to look back and be like, have I got my bases covered if something goes wrong? Like, do you know what I mean? Do I have a skill or a trade or something like that? And it's easy, isn't it, to get caught up in, I just want to leave, I want to get the hell out of here, but not really have any kind of plan. Don't get me wrong, dude. Like, the flip side of that is, you might die tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of just have to do what you want to do, right? So, but in hindsight, now I'm 32, and I look back and I'm, I've actually got into learning about stuff as I've got to like 30. Like now, now I enjoy listening to like educational podcasts and like reading books. Whereas 10 years ago, I hated all that shit. It's strange.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to advise and sort of speak about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Because at the time, you've got this. I want to be a professional mountain biker. I'm just going to drop out of school and crack on. So. Yeah,
I mean, it was kind of already going for me. So, and my mom was not stoked, obviously. But I mean, if I had a huge chance, I mean, like if I wouldn't have taken the chance in the same way as I did, I think I would have regretted it today for sure. Yeah,
exactly.
So,
exactly. Yeah, no regrets, man. No regrets.
Yeah.
But it is strange how you start thinking a little bit more when you get that little bit older and you go, actually, history was kind of cool. But at the time, you just think, oh man, I'm over this. I need to get out of here.
Yeah. Especially now when I've been injured a bit, I've been like, wow,
Yeah, no, for sure. I bet, because now you've got
Yeah.
more time on your hands. You know, you sat around like, okay,
Yeah.
what do I actually like?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Okay, so it's cool though, man. Like, supportive parents has definitely been a running theme. The other sort of running theme that's come up a lot, you know, as I've spoke to certain people, I think people like Danny Mack or Nyquist have always sort of done a sport that they've got good at a sport they didn't know they were any good at, or they didn't know that they were like creating, which has been really fun.
Yeah.
You know, Danny, for example, was living up in Scotland just doing his own thing, and then
Yeah.
it turns out he's invented, do you know what I mean, not invented trials, but he's basically the best in the world at trials.
Yeah. I know, and he got his own, like, he created his own writing style pretty much.
Does it feel a little bit like that
unheard of.
living in Sweden though, because you kind of isolated a little bit, or not?
I mean, we're like obviously watching a lot of other writers from like Canada and stuff like that. So I think that like inspiration from other people have never been a problem living here. And Martin was so early as well, so we're obviously always been watching Martin.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess for the Swedish up and coming guys, Martin kind of has paved the way a little bit, right? And no doubt acts as a bit of a, I don't know, does he help you out quite a lot? I'd probably guess he does.
Yeah, he's been I think he's been a huge part of my like success, or whatever you want to call it. He's been mentoring me since I started like going for it, and we can have hours and hours long chats about like mindsets and stuff like that. So he's been really, really supportive that way. And I think he's doing that for as many people as he can. And if anyone comes up to him and asks him, Martin, like, how can you be so good at writing contests? How can you like put away all that pressure and stuff? And he explains it and
really?
like teaches you. Yeah. He's the best.
Yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a really, really good dude. Like,
Yeah.
you know, as you know, he was on the podcast a little while ago, and he was so interesting, like super prepared. He's probably the most prepared podcast guest ever on any podcast. He had like a list of things to talk about. Hey, it was so cool.
Yeah, he's always like, he's so good at media as well, like talking and stuff.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. Really, really good guy. And you couldn't ask for, no doubt, a better ambassador for the sport in Sweden, and for the sport like globally as well, really, right?
Yeah.
But if it's cool, man, I want to come back to that actually a little bit shortly, about talking about Martin and how he's inspired you and stuff. But just to go back, if it's okay, talking about sort of like your breakout years and stuff. 2015, you know, you spoke about just before, on paper looks like the breakout year for you. You know, third at Joyride, that was 2015, is that correct?
16.
That's
16 was it?
Yeah. Okay.
That was my best year for sure in my career, 2016. That was the first year I was invited to Crankworks, like the whole year, I think. Or not the whole year, but I was qualified for every event. So I started Rotorua with 6th, I think.
Yep.
If I'm not wrong.
Yep.
Don't hate on me if I'm wrong.
I think it's 6th.
And then the second event of the year, I went to Rocket there, which was a gold level event, and I got second behind Nikolai. I was super stoked. Then that was my first like real podium, like a gold level event podium. And what came then? Then Swatch Primeline, which was a diamond event.
Right.
That was my second diamond event, and I ended up second there too, right after Nikolai. So that was my first diamond event podium, I think. So, and then it's Whistler after that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sorry. I was just looking. Yeah, you're right. That's right.
Yeah.
So,
and then that was my biggest goal ever. That was like, since I was a kid, I was like, I just want to make it to Joyride.
Right.
That was my only goal.
Really? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. So you were looking up at that event as you were coming up as a youth, and then you got to go ride it.
Yeah. So that was the first Joyride event I did, and I still can't believe when I think about it. I managed to get third somehow, and that day still feels unreal when I think about it. Got third, and that made me place second in the FMB World Tour ranking over the year.
Yeah. Wow, insane. But what happened there in between 2015 and 2016 that made you step up so much? Because again, I'm looking purely on paper. You've gone from being, I think, 30th in the like F&B standing to being second. What did you do in between 2015 and 2016 that really elevated the level of riding and all that? Like, what was going on?
I've been talking a lot with some other pro riders about this. When you're not in the top guys circuit or whatever you want to call it, and when you don't have all of these contracts and stuff, you're so hungry to make it up there, and you'll probably do like way more than anyone else to make it up there. And I think I was just so motivated that I rode. I'm still super motivated. I consider myself as a motivated guy, and I train a lot. But when I look back on my routines I had then, that's like, wow. So I think I was just so hungry. So I just wanted it so bad.
Right. So you think
just
that,
which I still do.
The mindset of being able to like lay it all on the line just to, break that top X amount of riders sort of thing.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Just really wanted to do it. And, that's a huge, like, when you don't have anything there, like, if you don't have it yet, that's a huge, like, I don't know what you call it, but that's for sure.
It's a motivator, isn't it? Like, it's just going to give you that fire to put, like you said, like, put everything on the line and make it happen, because you only have those few times every year, right, where you're in front of the crowds, you're in front of the TV, like, you need to lay it on the line, like, those 5, whatever it is, events that year.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure. So that I think that was the biggest difference from 2015 and 16, that I would just wanted it way more, because I saw that riding a lot and training a lot obviously paid off in 2015, but if I was just doing it way more in 2016, it would probably end up way better.
And so it's 2015 and 2016, were you fully professional athlete? You weren't obviously still working in 2016. Oh, were you?
Not 16. 15 I was working in the beginning of the year, but I got prize money and stuff, and I did shows and stuff in 2015. So I was just working in the beginning of the year, and then I can make it through the whole year. And then everything just like clicked for 2016, and then got those contracts. So.
Crazy year, man. Like you say, on paper again, like a wild year. It sort of came from nowhere almost. I mean, you haven't come from nowhere because you're working so hard behind the scenes. But again, for people who just are a spectator of the sport, maybe don't know your name coming into those events, and it's like, boom, here he is, like third at Joyride. I remember everyone was like not really talking too much to me or about me or anything. But after that, like, I remember after the event, that was insane with like the cameras and people and everyone. Like, that was like, I couldn't handle it. Really? Do you like that side of it, or is it not your vibe?
It's fun. Like, it's just unreal when so many people are coming to you and like they're so interested in you and they want to know everything about you, and like they kind of like, it feels like I'm usually the one that want to know everything about everyone else, and then all of a sudden you're the guy. So I don't know. Be
kind of crazy, especially if you've not really experienced that much of it, and then you're at the top of the sport.
Yeah. I remember like first time stepping onto like a big podium, I was like, so what am I doing now? Like, am I supposed to smile or?
No, you look deadpan. Don't smile. Just stand there.
Yeah. That was kind of awkward at first times. I remember I did a super awkward hug to the ladies that were giving me the medal and stuff. So, yeah.
You stood there looking lost.
Yeah, super lost.
Oh man, great. 2017 was no doubt a tough year, with a couple of injuries at the beginning and towards the end too, right?
Yeah. It started pretty well. I went to Rotorua again in New Zealand for Crankworks, and I got 5th that year, so one place better than the year before. And then And yeah, I went to Rocket area, and I was hoping for a better year, obviously, than I had in 2016, because it's not like I was second in 16. I don't want to get worse than that in 17, because I'm stuck, and everyone's probably thinking like that. So I think I was just I wanted it too much, so I was practicing a little bit arrogant, I would say. Not arrogant maybe, but too much in practice at Rocket there. And I was doing 360 double bar spins down a flat drop there, which was kind of a small flat drop, and I did it 3 times before I crashed. And then the 4th time, I think I didn't concentrate. I was just going out the drop and thinking like, yeah, I'll just 360 double bar this drop, and then I'll do that on the second jump. So it's still a hard trick, but I was just so, I thought probably I had too much self-esteem, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably.
And was there a different like mentality as well with coming off such an amazing 2016? Like, did you feel there was a lot more pressure on your shoulders? No doubt.
No doubt. Yeah. I was actually starting the year as first in the world, because Nikolai, one of his event expired, so I was.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a tough start of the year. I was going to the events because I wanted to win them. I didn't go there, and I would like in 2016 I would be happy if I even made finals. I would be like, whoa,
a totally different like shift, right? Totally different mentality, and there's just 12 months in between shifts, which isn't a lot of time, is it, to adapt to it, you know?
Yeah, and the winter between 16 and 17, I think I never trained that hard in my whole life, and I just wanted more, and I think that's the dangerous part. I think I was just so stubborn that I thought that I could actually win everything I was riding.
Right.
But because I'm a pretty competitive guy, me and Martin is pretty like. Always when we're even going for a normal session, we're always competing against each other, and like it's a full-blown contest.
But you have to be though, right? For what you do for a living, you have to be confident in yourself and your abilities. So, but maybe there's just this fine balance of being too confident as well. Yeah,
that's definitely. I know that because I've been like breaking down that injury so many times with like mental coach and stuff. I was too arrogant. I didn't concentrate, and I didn't bring myself like to the level that I should have been. I was aiming too high, and I missed my hand on a 360 double bar spin down the flat drop and snapped my collarbone. So in practice. So,
and that was that just before as well, like the event?
That was the day of the qualifying. So right. I had my whole run. I did my whole run in practice and stuff, but I don't know why I just kept doing it. I don't know.
Learning game, mate. Learning game.
Yeah, you know? The hard way.
Yeah, exactly. It is the hard way for sure. So 2017 then, you know, was pretty much, I wouldn't say a write-off, but you didn't do a great deal in 2017.
No, definitely not. I bounced back from that collarbone, and I was healthy again for Whistler, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I did an event between, which was Colorado Freeride Festival in America. So that was my first event back after the collarbone. It was a bit early. I shouldn't have gone there. That was a bit too early for the collarbone, but my physiotherapist said that I was my rehab was working so well and stuff, but the bone was not 100% healed. It was maybe 90% healed. Okay. Right. And I rode that event. I got third, I think, in Colorado. Yeah.
Yep.
And then that was because I saw that event as like a get back event for Whistler, so I could ride a big course again and compete. And then in Whistler, I was stressing way too much in practice again, and I had a run planned out. Then 20 minutes before the contest, I was like, man, I need a second option on that second jump of the two big ones. So I'm gonna do a front flip there, so I can do a front flip no-hander in my run. And then, I cased on a front flip, went over the bars, and broke my other collarbone.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
yet again, I was just like, well, maybe the judges don't like my first run, so I need something else to back it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, but I mean, I learned a lot from those 2 injuries. So
yeah, that was actually one of the questions. And let's just quickly though, let's just talk, because 2018 is for me like the super interesting year, because it's the most present. It's the most like up to date one, right? So
yeah.
So before we talk about the injury stuff, tell me about 2018 and what went on in 2018.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty interesting year, is this?
Yeah. Wow. This year. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I got back that, as I said, I broke that second collarbone in the end of the year, 17. So I was just rehabbing from that, I think, and I got back on my bike again in the early winter of 2018. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Then I was rehabbing pretty hard, and then again I went to Barcelona for a longer time, 5 weeks, I think, and I was just doing a lot of preseason practice and getting ready, and then for New Zealand again, and then I went to New Zealand. It felt really good, actually. It was just super weird. I had a weird mindset. I don't know why. It felt weird to compete for some reason. I think that was because of my injuries the year before, or something.
In what way do you think it felt weird? Like anxiety, or?
I think I was just so eager to get back.
Yeah.
I just wanted a result. I was like, I want to show everyone that I'm not. These injuries didn't affect me at all, which they did for sure. I'm not gonna lie, they affected me a lot, but I worked through that, and today they made me to a better rider. But then, yeah, I felt good during practice and everything, and then in my run, I crashed on a trick that I shouldn't have crashed on, because I did it earlier that day as well, and I broke my arm.
The footage is gnarly. For anyone who's not seen it, I'm going to put a link in the show description, just because it is a pretty, it's a brutal crash. You can see your arm break, basically, can't you, when you hit the ground?
Yeah.
You can see it.
And that was yeah.
And the trick was a flip, bar spin to whip. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, was that at that time, was that pretty much like a dialed routine trick?
Yeah, that was the weird thing. All my injuries have been pretty like nothing scary or new. It's been, it's been a trick that I did like a lot of times in like practice repetition a lot when I was training at home. So shouldn't have been a big deal, and I did it, as I said earlier, in the practice. But yeah. It happened.
Yeah, it did. It definitely happened, dude. And do you know like why? Like, what do you know? What went wrong? Looking back at it, can you sort of break down? Oh, I didn't catch, a foot there or whatever.
I definitely know what I did wrong in the trick. When you do a backflip bar spin to tail whip, you kind of want your bike to be pretty far away from you, and you want the bar to line up with your chest, kind of.
Yeah.
But I think I was flipping too hard, so I had my bar down with my knees.
Okay.
And that doesn't give you a lot of spin on the tail whip when you kick it. So, yeah, did a flip bar, and then I kicked the tail whip, and I felt immediately like this is not going to work out at all. So, yeah, I jumped off my bike, landed sideways on my arm, and snapped it in half.
Dude, like I said, the footage is gnarly. I think it's important to not maybe dwell on it too much, but when you hit the ground and you're on that stage in front of all those people, what goes through your head? Like, what are you thinking straight away?
I felt immediately, because rolling down the landing, I felt like, oh no, it's not my shoulder again. And I stood up on my knees, and that's when my arm kind of swinged around without me moving it. So I was like, oh damn. then I grabbed the arm, and it kept swinging. I was like, oh whoa, so it's the upper arm. And and then afterwards I the doctors told me that I broke some ribs and what do you call it? Pelvis? Yeah,
oh, you
pelvis
did,
as well.
really? Wow, jeez,
Like
dude.
a small fracture in the pelvis. So yeah,
It's a hard slam, mate. It's a hard slam. And the thing is as well, not many people can say that they've, you know, crashed that hard, but also crashed that hard in front of all those people. So the adrenaline dump is going to be way more probably than it would be just crashing at home or at a skate park or whatever, right? So does that sort of stuff go through your head a little bit too? Because I'm just sort of trying to, I don't know, man, I'm trying to put myself in that situation of like, it's Roto Crankworks, you know, the TV and all that sort of stuff's there. You got Cam commentating, like the whole thing is such a huge stage. And there you are sat on the floor, like, what the hell?
I was so pissed. Like, I was literally sitting there and looking out. You can see it on the footage on the live cast that I was just looking out in nothing. I was just like, well, that was a fun career. That was pretty much what I was thinking at the moment. Yeah, because I was so over it at the time. But yeah, that obviously bounced back when I got to the hospital and stuff. But yeah, it's not. I don't think the actual like the cameras and the contest and everything didn't affect me too much because I know all of the people in the circuit and stuff, and I know I'm pretty used to being in a live cast, I guess. So that was just like. I was most worried about my mom and dad watching from home and my girlfriend.
Really?
I was like,
okay.
Oh, I'm on the other side of the planet breaking my arm and they just watched me break it. And that kind of sucked.
Yeah. Mate, I can't even imagine what that's like. But, you know, is that something, though, that you prepare for? You said about, you know, you prepared for being on that stage and stuff like that. Is that... How do you prepare for all that stuff? That's, again, like I'm super interested to know. I mean, getting your headspace and stuff.
Yeah, it's biking. I know the consequences, of course, and I do crash like on a daily basis, and it hurts. It hurts to ride bikes. You gotta take big slams, you gotta get injured and stuff. So it's a big part of the sport, but it's just a very sad part about the sport. But like getting those severe injuries is something. The arm was, to me, the collarbones are not a severe injury compared to this one. Because the arm now was a completely different deal. It was like way worse. It took me almost a year to bounce back from it. I still have like some disability in my arm from that crash. But yeah, I mean, you get prepared for it. You know what you're getting yourself into. And I think it's just a big part of the sport, and that everyone will go through it at some point.
Yeah. And again, like you said before, you know, it's going to make you a stronger rider at the end of it, right? It's all a learning curve, isn't it? But again, I'm going to make sure that there's a link in the description to that video that you made, because it's not got as many views as it should have, because it's super interesting, because you made basically a video about the crash and then the rehab after it. And it's not got as many views as it should have, dude, because it's super interesting, though. So, again, I'm going to make sure there's a link in the description.
The 2018 video?
No, I think it was just called I Broke My Arm.
Oh, okay, that one. That was the first video I ever made.
Exactly, I know, right? Okay, but maybe that's the reason why. Maybe it's been overlooked. Yeah. Okay, so again, for me, I've watched a lot more of your stuff over the last sort of week or so, and for me, that video is awesome, because it just sort of breaks down everything that happened, and then the rehab after it. So again, for anyone who's listening, just hit the link when you've listened to the podcast, obviously, or take a break and watch the video in the show description, because it is interesting. And that's like a really nice segue as well into talking about the YouTube stuff, because you started that after the injury, because maybe had a little bit more time on your hands. Is that accurate?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. The YouTube thing, I don't know really where it came from. I've always been super interested about cameras and stuff. I went to media school for like almost a year when I was younger, and I have friends that are working with it, and I've always been doing like small edits with my friends. So when people started doing that, I was like, whoa, I would definitely want to do this when I got time or when I'm not 200% up in my contest practice. so yeah, that's where it came from, I think.
Okay. And one thing I'm really interested to know actually is, as an athlete, when you've crashed at the start of the year, what does that mean for you? You know, we don't have to, no numbers involved here, but like financially, is that a big hit to you because, you know, you're relying on prize money and stuff?
Yeah. I was getting that question a lot when I was injured, actually, from different kinds of people. But you still have your contracts from your sponsors, so it doesn't affect me too much because you never really count on the prize money.
Okay.
The prize money is always just a bonus. So I think if like some people need the prize money because they're like, I think that's what they don't have too many sponsors or anything. But I've been super lucky because I have a really supportive management and I have some really good brands behind me. So yeah, they were really supportive throughout my whole injury, and it didn't affect me too much, which is nice.
Yeah, is it more like then the mentality of you want to represent your sponsors? So rather than being on the main stage of those events, it's like, right, let's do something different, like the YouTube, or you take to your social media a little bit more. Is that what pretty much how you thought about it?
I was like, when I'm riding contests, people get to see me on a stage every now and then, and that's what they see about me. But I've always been thinking that I always loved to watch behind the scene footage. When I was younger, I loved seeing like when Brandon Semenak did some behind the scenes. So when he did his web series called Life Behind Bars, the people that I looked up to, I always enjoyed watching them talking for some reason, because that gives you kind of a perspective on how they are as a human being and not just as a rider. So yeah, I was getting a lot of support when I got injured. So I was thinking that maybe people are actually interested in about what I'm doing when I'm not riding. That was the first idea I had. So yeah, and obviously that helps out a lot with my social media and stuff. And I think that my sponsors also like that I'm doing something when I'm injured. Instead of just sitting on the couch and waiting for my arm to heal, I thought I'd take the opportunity when I have time to do something productive.
Yeah. Now it's interesting that, because it's crazy how much the YouTube thing's growing, isn't it? Especially over the last sort of 4 years or something like that. Probably a little bit more as far as YouTube's concerned, how long it's been around. But it seems like over the last sort of, for me, like 4 years maybe, it's really leveled up where, a lot of athletes have got a vlog or whatever, and you can find out, like you said, find out more about you, like see what you get up to in your spare time. And and I try not to watch too much of that stuff because I think it can be not negative, but I've spoke about it a little bit on the podcast before, especially some people, like their perception is like a highlight reel of your life. So again, what I liked about that video you made about when you broke your arm is like, this is the real shit. Like, this is what happened and this is how I'm dealing with it. And you weren't just like stoked all the time. It was like, no, this sucks, and I think you were sat at home just talking to the camera, and it was really good because it just gives you that perception and that understanding of what you're going through, right?
I mean, definitely. I think I'm trying to always keep it as real as I possibly can when I'm filming a video. But I mean, we usually, when we're filming something, we're not planning on something. Now when I'm healthy, we're not doing anything boring when I'm filming. So it is kind of like always smiles and laughs and stuff, but that's just how it is. I think. But yeah.
Do you think, would you have started doing the YouTube stuff had you not had that injury?
If I started earlier?
Let's say, Rotary Crankworks, you didn't have that crash. Would you have...
Oh, okay.
Would you have done that anyway?
I was already looking into it, and I bought a camera before Rotary, actually.
Right.
So yeah, I think so. I wanted to start doing them. I wanted to do them a bit differently than I ended up doing them, but yeah, I think I would still be doing them right now because I think it's a really cool concept, and Yeah.
No, it is, mate, for sure. Again, I'm a big fan of these things. I think certain athletes have done an amazing job of it as well. Like your mate Matt. I mean, Matt Jones' vlog is incredible. How on earth he's pumping out that amount of content is kind of beyond me. But
I know.
I don't know. I guess that's going to be pretty tough to always be finding stuff to do and filming it and editing and blah 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 blah. But it's. Were you looking up to people like that at the time as well? Like, were you watching maybe Matt's stuff or anybody else in particular? Like, was there anyone else you were looking at?
I didn't actually watch too much biking at the moment. I was watching a lot of Casey Neistat and and stuff like that. Because as I said, I'm a bit geeky when it comes to camera gear and stuff. So I was watching some like more camera directed channels, I guess. And obviously I was watching Pilgrim and Matt as well, but just not like as frequently, I guess. Yeah.
You're the Swedish dude. I've spoke about this again on the podcast, so sorry for people, but Jon Olsen. I got really into watching Jon Olsen's vlog for a little while. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Martin that told me about him, I think, actually. And I started watching it, and I was like, this is really cool. And then I started thinking, I feel like my own life's pretty shit. Not, do you know what I mean? Like, this guy's like buying houses and doing all this wild stuff all the time, driving Lamborghinis. Not, I just don't think it's healthy to watch too much of that stuff. And like you said, it's about the real stuff that goes on behind the scenes, not like a highlight reel of stage stuff.
I know, I watched a lot of his stuff as well. The main reason only because he's doing everything so like good with the filming and stuff. And like his editor is insane, so that's why I watch him a bit more, I think. But I'm not trying to get my channel to grow into a highlight page, I think. Because obviously I'm gonna keep it as much about writing as possible, but all my viewers are always telling me that I want to see more stuff, so
that's cool, man. You've built up a hell of a following in quite a short space of time as well. It's getting there, I think. Yeah. What's the hardest part?
The hardest part is the time,
right?
Because if I want to fit in my gym time, I want to fit in my writing time, because I try to separate filming and writing. I usually film when I'm resting from writing or gym, so filming is usually on my rest days. So that equals another day of writing, but not as hard. Usually,
again, I think you do an amazing job, dude. Like, again, I've gone a bit of a deep dive into watching some of your stuff over the last sort of week, and doing a good job. I think it's super interesting what you're doing. Really, really cool. And then some of the more funny stuff, like what you just did with the dares and stuff, is pretty cool.
Thank you. that was fun. It ended up being a bit of a bummer for me though, with the hair and stuff.
I think you came out of it all right. I think if I had to choose the bleached blonde hair or a bowl cut, I think I'm going to go bleached blonde hair.
Yeah. Looking back, but he actually changed his hair now, so he doesn't even have a bowl cut anymore.
What?
But I'm stuck with the blonde hair.
Yeah, you should have had to run it until your hair grows out.
But better blonde hair than a tattoo, though. So
that's fair point. Yeah, fair point. Yeah. Again, I've got a friend's name tattooed on me, which is a terrible decision from being in Sweden. Actually, Yeah, it was in Sweden after a few way too expensive beers in a nightclub. We ended up getting tattooed. Yeah, so I have my friend's name on me. Anyway.
Okay.
It's a story for another day.
You should have made him do that. My name.
Yeah, you should. Next time.
Yeah.
Next time. So we're kind of in coming towards the end of the off season. What's the off season been like for you? Have you altered your off seasons a little bit more, having learned what you learned from the previous ones of maybe going a little bit too hard? How's this one been different?
I think I'm riding as much. I ride as much and I train as hard, but I just have a different look on everything after all of these injuries that I had. If I'm having before, if I was having a session and didn't land my tricks perfectly, I would be angry at myself, and I'd be like, what am I doing? I should just quit riding. Which is kind of sad when I think about it now, but that's how it was. I was like putting so much pressure on myself. No one else put pressure on me. I was just putting on myself. But now I'm like, if I'm not anything is fun, I'm not going to do it, because biking is supposed to be fun. That's why I started riding as a kid. And so that's how my look on riding is right now. And luckily, I think it's so much fun to just practice and bang out all my tricks and progress all the time. If I didn't think that was fun, I would be in a worse situation right now.
No, that's interesting, because can you think of a time then when you weren't treating it as fun? Like, were you looking at it as more of not a job, because it's obviously a job, but was there a time where you were putting too much pressure on yourself, thinking, it's not as fun as this should be. I'm just trying to, win contests, etc.
Yeah, Martin was always bringing me down from that stuff. Not bringing me down. He was like telling me, like, "Come on, man, you're riding awesome. Why are you even like putting all of this pressure on yourself? Like, you're a good bike rider. Why would you do that?" Like, yeah. So I think Martin helped out a lot with that as well, to change my mindset from being like, I would say, a bit self-destructive, because I was putting too much pressure on myself, and I still had a lot of time. We were all smiling and laughing and stuff, but I was just in my zone a lot and just riding too much, I think. And now, as I said, I just want to have as much fun as I possibly can. And that's also when I ride the best, when I have fun. Because if I have fun, I will be in a better mood. Ryan Nyquist told me this saying, then I'm trying to think about it every time I ride. If you feel good, you ride good. If you ride good, you live good. And that's it.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. So that I picked that up. I don't even know if he remembered telling me that, but I snapped that up really heavily after my crash.
Right. What an amazing guy he is as well, man. This dude.
Yeah.
Oh man, so much love for Nyquist. After again, he came on the podcast a while ago, and it was just so interesting.
That guy. You should see at the contest. He's having storytelling times.
Really?
All of us, like the other athletes, are just sitting in a circle and listening to what he has to say, because he has like a lifetime of experience more than anyone else.
Oh mate,
so it's like
he's lived it. He has lived it. He's lived it, and then he's living it again through like slopestyle, right?
I know. So it's so amazing. He's such a great guy, and he also helped out a lot with like, at the contest when I'm stressing too much. He's always been like, dude, come on, you're riding good. No, don't stress it and stuff like that. Because he obviously sees it more than anyone else, because he's been in the game for such a long time.
Yeah.
So
it's cool as well that it seems like all the slopestyle guys are all out to help each other, and you're all stoked on each other's riding. And in fact, I was talking to someone else about this, that when I went out to Crankworks in Leger, it was really interesting to watch practice, because I don't know, man, for some reason you'd think that everyone would maybe keep themselves to themselves. Maybe, you keep your cards, what I mean, like close to your chest. You don't really show people what you've got. But the reality of it is, when you go and watch these events, is you're all riding together. You're all like amped on each other's riding, which is really cool. I mean, there's got to be some level of competition, but you can't really see it from the outside. You know?
Yeah. This is a pretty fun thing, actually, because I think our sport is so unique when it comes to this. It's so much love and friendship within the riders. Everyone is just, no one is ever like no one's keeping secrets. No, or obviously everyone's always keeping something for the final run. But everyone's just like having a good session, cheering everyone on, and they're like giving each other knuckles and like high fives and talking a lot during practice. Obviously, some people needs to be more in the zone than other guys, but because that's just their mindset. And when practice is over, everyone is always going down to the pool and hanging out and like laughing. So, and that's kind of where we like try to not think about the contest at all. We're just hanging out as friends. So
dude, it's so rad. It is, because again, you're not technically, I mean, yes, you're up against each other in a competition setting, but with a race, you're not banging elbows, you're not trying to take each other out. You kind of all doing your own thing?
Yeah, I think that also a huge difference I was noticing when I was when I didn't get into the Diamond Series, or the World Championships as it's called now. It's a huge difference between not being in it and being in it. Because being in it, it's only like 14 riders, and everyone's going to the same stops. And in the normal contests, there's like 30 plus riders, and everyone's just so hungry and focused to get in. So it's like less friendship and less like,
right.
Yeah. I don't know if like everyone thinks like that, but I noticed a lot that in this, like that top group, everyone's just so like, there's not as many people on the course. It's not as many people at the dinners and stuff like that. So I think that's also why, because we're always hanging out with the same people.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. That's interesting. Really, really interesting. So what are some of the tips and stuff then that Martin has sort of given you to help with the pressure of being a professional athlete? Let me rephrase that a little bit. Like, has he given you some like real like take home, and you do that every day or every week or whatever? Like, you know, is it like meditation or anything like that?
Martin has always been good on the mental side, because I think his dad is kind of a mental coach. So he's always been really good at that. And I think that he's always telling me every time we're in the car on the way to a session or back from a session is to like just remember that you are a good bike rider. You don't have to think about everyone else and what they are doing and how good they are. Of course, there's always going to be people that are riding better than you in practice, but that doesn't matter, because that doesn't count. And that I should just put everything aside that is not my riding and focus on having fun and doing what I know I can, instead of comparing myself to other people all the time, because that would only stress me out. And that's the biggest tip, I think.
And a good tip in life
focus on my
too.
stuff. Yeah,
not
like
just
you don't
riding,
need to change. Yeah. You're not living anyone else's life. You're living your life, and you can only do as good as you can do. So why would you stress about doing as good as anyone else?
For sure.
That's
it's actually something I've been thinking about a lot more. Yeah, no, dude, honestly, I've been thinking about that a lot more myself, you know, because I think I've got to a point in my life, without relating this back too much to me, that you start thinking like, okay, how much am I focusing on other people's shit? Like, how much am I looking at Instagram and being like, oh, that person's got that, like he's got that car or that bike or whatever. And it's about just remembering that you know, you're your own person. Don't get caught up in any of that sort of bullshit. Just do your own thing. And I think that's, you know, the massive negative in social media, is that you're always like looking at other people's stuff. And it's probably the same in riding as well when you're a professional, because you're looking at other people's stuff all the time. Oh, he's done that trick, I need to do that trick, etc., etc. But if you just, what you're saying is just focus on your own story and doing your own thing, you're going to be a better rider, you're going to be a better person, you're not going to be as stressed. The whole thing is going to be an advantage. Yeah, I think so too. Like, as we said already, like, you're doing your own thing. Why would you chase anyone else's life and what they're doing? Like, awesome.
I think it's hard.
Yeah. I was chatting as well to Richard from Resolutions before, right? And he wanted to make sure that I asked you about like the gym training. And it's funny because I looked, right, and I'm like, dude, you got jacked between 2017 to 2018. You got jacked.
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing in the gym? Come on, dude, hit us. Like, what's going on? Are you taking Mexican supplements?
No, I think that's also like a thing that motivates me a lot. I've always been into like to gym training for some reason, because I just love it sounds weird now, but I think I love the feeling of just pushing yourself as hard as you can until it doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. That's always been like why I wanted to go to the gym, because I feel like I'm doing good for myself and that I've made it as far as I possibly can on a daily basis. It sounds kind of intense, but
no, not all.
And also just like, I obviously see it as that's like something good for the riding part, obviously, because more muscle equals more protection, but too much muscles equals that you're not as you're not as stylish, I guess.
And not
You're
as
just a
flexible
big
as well, right?
pack of muscle. Yeah. So I think, I don't know. I was on a pretty hectic program though. I was like doing cardio and gym and riding almost every day, which was a bit too much, I think. Now when I look back to it, but I don't know. I was just eating a lot of healthy food, and I was eating 7 times a day, and I was.
You're eating. Hang on, you're eating 7 times a day.
Yeah.
Wow, you're on the bodybuilder diet.
I was kind of, because I lost. Every time I've been injured, I don't know why, but I'm losing so much weight. When I broke my first collarbone, I dropped 10 kilos instantly. So I think I've always just needed to eat a lot to not like get. I lose muscle a lot.
Really?
So like quickly if I don't eat properly or if I don't work out. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think after 2017 also I kind of wanted to like buff up a little bit more so I didn't get injured again. But I think that crash was just too much to handle.
And what sort of training are you doing? Have you found like the perfect recipe for being a slopestyle mountain biker? You know, as regards to how you train in the gym, do you go all in on one thing or are you a bit of everything?
I don't want to claim that I'm doing it the right way because I've been injured a bunch. But I feel like I'm pretty like I've been reading a lot about training and I've been talking a lot to different people about training. And I do have a personal trainer every week, and we're working on all my weaknesses, and he's giving me a setup for the rest of the week as well. But I think a lot of core stability is super important because when you do tail whips and when you do bar spins and when you do all sorts of trick, you're pretty much balancing your whole like position with your core. When you're moving your body a little bit, when you're doing a tail whip, you're bringing the bike out on the side with a lot of gyro forces in the wheels. And to keep yourself straight, you gotta like work against that with something, and that's usually like the core or the upper body like stability. So we're working a lot of that. Just like stability in general, like a lot of shoulder stability lately because I had 3 upper body fractures. So like that is like a lot of shoulder stability, a lot of back stability, and also core. So you do obviously legs.
A lot of like deadlifts. You into that sort of stuff as well?
Yeah, I used to do a lot of deadlifts.
Yeah, you can tell from the photos, bro.
I mean, we tried to mix it up as much as possible, but I used to do just normal gym training, but then we kind of like added a lot of balance and a lot of stability training, and now we're doing a lot of functional training, so I'm getting a bit more of a pulse, because if you ride a slopestyle course, you're kind of tired when you get to the last set, and then when you're on the last set, you got to do one of your hardest tricks, you know, so you need that explosivity when you're in the last set. So we're doing maybe like, I don't know, maybe something with a lot of pulse. And then in the end, you're doing like maybe 2 reps of something like super heavy.
So that's interesting. Okay. I think it'd be cool, man, if you made, I don't know if you have done it yet or not, but like a video about how you're training. That'd be really interesting.
That's my most requested video.
Is it? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I just think it's a bit awkward to go to the gym with the camera, but maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, I did one at the beginning of the year because I felt like, you know, you come off 2019, well, you come into 2019 and everyone's got like, you know, a New Year's resolution of trying to stay fit. So I did a podcast at the beginning of the year with a coach, a mountain bike strength coach. And that's been one of our most downloaded episodes, actually. So people obviously really want to know about that stuff. So, yeah, I made like a really short video as well of like, this is a sort of mountain bike specific training routine.
Okay.
But yeah, people loved
Nice.
it, man. Like it was good. Response was really good from that. So
Yeah.
it'd be cool to see if you could do that. That'd be really interesting, I think. And if people are asking for it,
Yeah.
no doubt there's a market for it, and
Yeah.
you could make a good one. That'd be interesting to see.
Okay, I'll make one. I'll see if
Awesome.
the guy that's training me, if he's down to make one.
Yeah. And how are you fueling all this training, dude? Like, what's your nutrition look like?
I have different periods. One period that is like a lot of like just bulking up, which is not as strict, I'd say.
Okay.
I still eat a lot, just way too much, and I'm trying to gain a bit of muscles because I still actually miss 1 kilo since before my injury in 2017.
So you're 1
So I
kilo
still haven't-
lighter now than what you were in 2017.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is probably the closest that I've ever been to that weight. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to eat healthy. A typical meal would probably be just rice, chicken, and broccoli.
Wow.
Or sweet potato. I love sweet potato so much.
Me too. I've been on that keto
Yeah.
kick though for a grip, man. I've been doing the keto thing for a while now. So
Yeah?
sweet potatoes
Oh,
is how
nice.
I get a little bit of carbs. Yeah.
That's nice.
Mate, I love that diet. I've never felt better, honestly.
Yeah,
It does.
sweet
It just
potatoes,
works.
yeah.
I mean, everyone's different though, right? Like you can't just say this is
Yeah.
what you should eat. Everyone's different, but for me, like
Yeah.
that's how I feel good is eating like that, like eating really just clean, healthy,
Yeah, definitely.
nutritious food. Like a lot, not so much meat. I don't eat much meat. My girlfriend's vegan, so obviously we live together.
Okay. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
don't eat much meat, but we eat a lot of just a lot of veg, a hell of a lot of veg, and I just try and cut out pretty much all carbs apart from the odd sweet potato.
Oh, nice.
Pretty much it.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
interesting, man. It's good to hear how you're doing it, because traveling must
Yeah.
be tough as well. Always trying to get good
Yeah,
food when
the
you're
worst.
on the road, right?
That's the worst. Like I always feel like so bad when I'm out traveling. But yeah, I mean, it's like I'm always trying to avoid the subject of what I'm eating, because it's like and someone will always tell you that you're wrong, kind
Yes,
of, in
100%.
this subject. So I'm always just trying to not talk too much about it. But yeah, I'm just trying to stay healthy and eat what I need, take some supplements and stuff. So
It's true though. Everyone's got their own take on it, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's how you feel, right? Like it's how do
Exactly.
you feel every day? You're sleeping good. You're waking up full of energy,
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. And if you can find that fine
Yeah.
balance, then you stick with it. There's no point trying anything else, because it takes, from what I've learned as well, is it takes a long time to settle into a diet. So if you just went tomorrow, I'm going to go keto, by the time Roto
Yeah.
rolls around, you might feel like dog shit. So you got to
Yeah.
just stick with it, right? Like don't mix it up too much or go in too heavy
I
too
know.
quick.
Yeah. I mean, I did go vegetarian throughout when my arm was healing, because that people said that would be
a lot
better
of
for
people
the
suggest
process.
that, don't they?
Yeah. So I did go vegetarian for that period of time, but that also made that I lost a lot of more weight for some reason. Every time I've tried to go vegetarian, I've been losing a lot of weight. And now I know that some vegetarian would write me and say that, you have to eat this and this and this, but it just didn't work out for me.
No.
I tried as hard as I could. Yeah.
I want to just revert back really quickly, actually, because we were talking about 2018 and sort of like off season, been injured and stuff. What was really cool is you came back and you rode 9 nights, or Audi 9 nights. I can never remember which one it is. And landed that flip, the trick which injured you at the start.
Yeah.
That was super cool, dude. Like that was, again, a really interesting video and story to sort of watch.
Yeah. That was scary. I did an event right before 9 nights, actually, like a small one for Monster, because they asked if I wanted to go, and I was like, yes, I just want to do a contest. I don't care if it's the smallest one or if it's in Russia. I just want to do an event. So went there and did one, and then straight to 9 nights. Okay. So yeah,
you're feeling good going into 9 nights then.
Yeah. It ended up being a good contest in Moscow, so that was nice. And to come to 9 nights and ride those huge jumps again, like that was the first couple of big jumps I rode after Rotorua.
Right.
So,
and how do
scary.
you like that format too, of more of like a jam format than just all out competition?
Oh, I love Nine Nights.
Yeah, you're into that.
Yeah, I'm so into that. I don't know. The guys are always just making sure that the vibes are on top every day. But to start with, they're calling it Audi Nines now, so I should probably say that.
Yeah, Audi Nines. My bad. I always forget what it's called. It's changed a few times recently. I know.
I know. All right. It's confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Audi Nines. Yeah, they're always just making sure that it's a week that everyone is stoked on. Every day, everyone should always be stoked, because when all the riders are stoked and having a good time together, that's when the magic happens. It's not going to happen on a day when people are pure pressure to ride and do tricks. It's going to happen when everyone's having a good time, the music is loud, and everyone's just cheering on each other. So yeah, I love that.
Awesome.
It's a good vibe.
Awesome. Before we get on, I want to be sort of mindful of your time. I don't want to take too much up.
Yeah.
Before we do some listener questions, I wanted to talk to you about the Swedish slopestyle scene, because it's kind of blowing up.
Yeah.
You got some amazing athletes coming out of Sweden, and I was looking into it a little bit and noticed that there's now like the Swedish gymnasium for mountain biking, which is huge, because for people who don't know what that is, as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, that's pretty much like a school program. Is that right? Almost like going to university, but you can study mountain biking. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's we call it gymnasium.
Yeah.
That's after 9th grade, when you finish the mandatory school. You can choose if you want to go there for 3 years.
Okay.
And then it's a normal school. You have all your normal lessons and stuff, but they just have scheduled riding in an indoor facility that has a race BMX track and 2 mulch jumps. So yeah, they have scheduled gym training and scheduled bike riding a couple times a week. So
that's amazing. It's so cool that they do that in Sweden. I'm not sure of anywhere else. Again, I might be totally wrong, but I've not seen anything like that anywhere else in the world.
Me neither.
No. Go on after you. Sorry.
I know that. I think what everyone says. I didn't go there actually.
Right.
Anton Tillander, my friend, he's 1 year older than me. He was the first class that went there. But what everyone is always saying is that it's not the facility or it's not the scheduled training that makes the difference. It's that all bike riders live in a apartment complex, and everyone that lives in there breeds biking, and everyone's just talking about biking all the time, and everyone's just riding every day and having fun, and it's just the closest group of people, and everyone loves the same thing. So that's why they are riding every day and pushing each other. So I think that's why we're pumping out new slopestyle riders all the time.
Dude, for sure.
Yeah.
I've seen it all play out in the motocross industry, because when I was out in the States, we used to have the gymnasium, the Swedish motocross gymnasium used to come and stay with us in California, and they used to come out for 2 months, I think, maybe 3 months. And again, that was the first time I became aware of it, and everyone who came over just ripped, because again, like you said, they were all a big group of friends, they all had the same thing in common, and it was all through the school. I mean, I remember it just blowing me away. I'm like, what? These guys at school, and they get to ride dirt bikes for, do you know what I mean? For school. That's crazy.
Yeah. I know.
It was all funded as well, by the schools. It was insane. So massive props to Sweden again, just for having a crazy cool culture and doing that and pushing people in the right direction.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And you guys have had a Swedish slopestyle competition too? Was there a series, or was there...
Yeah, we had the Swedish Championships 2 years now. I've been injured for both, actually. So
yeah, and I think one of the ones I was looking at, there was wind and stuff, so a bunch of people didn't ride it and a few people pulled out. But
yeah,
the fact that it's...
The one this year was kind of,
that one. Yeah, but the fact that it's happening is just so cool, man, for Swedish slopestyle.
I know, it's sick. We don't have any contest in Sweden, which is weird. We used to have a FMV event, which was bronze level.
Okay.
But now we don't have any contest except that one Swedish Championships. So
I'm surprised someone like Martin, who's got a little bit more time, is not organising something. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, he used to do his own contest, which was huge,
Right.
like the Martin Söderström Invitational.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, but that wasn't
Yeah.
an FMB event, was it, or was it?
No,
Yeah.
that was just 2 big jumps. That was probably the biggest jump still I ever rode. Like they were huge. Yeah, he did that 2 years. Invited a couple of riders from around the world, and that was a cool format.
Yeah.
He should bring that back.
Yeah, he should. Martin, if you're listening, bring it back.
Yeah, bring it back.
Bring it back.
We need some.
Bring it
something
back.
like that.
But it's crazy, man, just to see the whole like scene just growing over in Sweden and the athletes that are coming out of it. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Is there anyone on the horizon coming up that you can sort of
we have
about?
so many good kids. It's unbelievable when I'm like seeing all of them. They're so good. But we actually have 2 guys that are not so young that are really, really, really putting in that work that I was talking about earlier when they're like not in, but they want in so bad. It's Alex Alanko and Victor Dohan.
Okay.
They have been around on the FMB World Tour like a couple of years now. It's just never been clicking really, and it's never been like going as good as it should have been for them. But last year, Alex Alanko did like a big statement. He got a podium, I think, at Rocket there.
Okay.
And then he got into Innsbruck with a wild card. So he's probably in for the Diamond Series now.
Sweet.
So he's brand new as well to the scene. And then we have Victor, which is like banging out tricks every day. And then a couple other kids. Like we have so many riders. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Is it a bit of a hindrance living in Sweden or not?
I wouldn't say so. I think it must be some kind of reason why we have so many talented riders here. And
yeah, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a fun fact about Sweden. We don't have a single set of trails. Like we don't have trails, dirt jumps.
Really?
We have the only jumps that have more than 2 is my jumps at my place, and that's like slopestyle practice jumps or like dirt jumping.
So do you have a compound?
Yeah, but it's wooden lips there, so it's not even a pure set of dirt jumps. Yeah, I have a compound. We've been building on them for the last 5 years, and they're growing every year, so it's nice.
Okay. Awesome.
But yeah, everyone's riding a lot of race BMX track and skate parks. I think that's where all the bike control comes from the younger kids.
And yeah, and having to ride indoors, wooden stuff, foam pits, just laying down, like you said, just laying down bangers tricks, and then it's just a case of getting them to do it and getting in front of people, right?
Yeah, it's a huge difference on being good at riding bikes and good at riding bikes. That's always what I'm trying to tell the kids when I'm giving them advice. Like you can be so good at your local jumps and do all the tricks you can do way better than a pro rider could do. I think, to be honest, like if you would put a Swedish kid up to like most of the slopestyle world championship riders on an airbag landing or a mulch jump, they would lose against the Swedish kid because but it's just the experience and being able to put it together in a run. And like, you have to think about that it's a bit soft in the middle of the landing. So you have to land a bit higher up, and then you have to pump for the next jump. Oh no, I have to brake a little bit and stuff like that, and just build everything together. That's a huge difference from just being able to do tricks.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think the future is like for Sweden? Do you think there's going to be more places to ride? Are the government and stuff building facilities or anything like that? Or is it, what I mean? Is anything like that happening?
Yeah, we did open up, or no, they did open up a place called Dome Adrenaline Zone, which is probably, I would say that it's the best training facility in the world right now.
Wow.
They just opened up a year ago, and it's like an indoor bike park with a pump track and then an airbag landing with 3 different lips, and then on the left of that they have a foam pit. Sweet. So you can practice with the same lip. So you do your tricks into the foam pit and then move it to the airbag landing. Yeah. So it's kind of like a normal jump. It's just like a bit softer. So that's going to be a game changer for sure.
Yeah. Is that local to you as well, or is that a bit of a drive away? Or
I drive pretty far every day. I think it's 160 kilometers from mine. Yeah. Right. 160 kilometers. Right. So I drive there a couple times a week, and But it's awesome. Like a lot of riders are coming from all around the world to practice there. Like we got Brett Reeder here now with another 2 Canadian guys. They're here for a month of training.
Right.
So
Yeah, I spoke to Pete actually, Jameson. He's over there right now.
He's there.
Yeah. Crazy, dude. Crazy. And the one thing I miss about Sweden is that although it's 160 kilometers away, you don't really ever have traffic. You just go there.
No.
Whereas here, I know you've been to the UK. That is a long ass day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just go up on the highway and then put in cruise control, and then I
miss
take
that
one
about
exit
Sweden.
and I'm there.
Every time traveling in Sweden, it's just like so easy. And then you come here to the UK and it's just traffic and roadworks and stuff. You guys never have that. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a big country with not a lot of people.
Exactly. You never, for anyone who's never been to Sweden, the way I always describe it to people, because I absolutely love Sweden. Like I said to you before, like I spent a lot of time there. You know, I spent almost 4 years of my life living in Sweden, and I love the place, man. It's like, for me, I always feel it's like Canada, but it's a 3-hour plane ride away.
Yeah, that's what people say. That's even what most guys say. It's like Canada. It's just a bit smaller.
It is. Like, everything about it, like the scenery, the whole thing, to me, especially up north in Sweden, I mean, that is some of the most beautiful scenery and landscapes you'll ever see. And again, I did a bunch of trips up to, I can't remember the place names. I'd kill it. So all the way up north anyway, and it's just beautiful up there. You know, it's underrated, I feel, because a lot of people, especially in England, probably wouldn't go there on holiday or anything or on vacation, but it is an incredible place.
In the summer it's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Me and my girlfriend always try and take a trip back. I've got a bunch of friends who live in Sweden still, so we always try and take a trip over there once a year at least to check in with people and just hang out.
Nice.
It's a beautiful place, man. Beautiful. Yeah. I need to buy myself a little summer house there. That's kind of on the. Yeah. That's a goal of mine, is to buy another house there.
Oh really?
Yeah. I love it, man. I love it.
I think I'll never move away from Sweden. I think.
No, I don't.
Maybe a winter house somewhere where it's warm.
That's the thing. Winters are pretty tough because it's cold. I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of geared up for it though. You know, everyone has winter tires, and the highways don't get too snowy or anything like that. Here's a little bit different in the UK. Everything just kind of stops, but because you're so used to it, it just carries on like normal. It's just really cold.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. Should we do some listener questions?
Yeah, sure.
You got a ton. That was really interesting.
Nice.
Let me have a look for you I'm just turning my phone back on, dude. Okay. So, let's start. So, first listener question on Instagram came from at @the_trail_butler, an amazing Instagram handle. In almost all of your videos, we see you pushing Theodore to try new tricks and get out of his comfort zone. Do you see yourself as his coach, or is he just a riding buddy?
It's funny that we mentioned Theo, because he's been like, we've been riding every day now since I got back on my bike after my arm. He's just a super, super motivated kid. And it's not like he doesn't want to do contests. It's just like, I just love riding bikes. And he's just stoked on learning stuff. So, and I'm always trying to push myself when I'm riding. So I just kind of found that riding buddy that I'm like always pushing him to do stuff, and he's always keen. So it's just like, if I say, hey man, you should try 720 today, he's like, yeah, maybe I should. I have no idea how to do it, but I should.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that makes me stoked to try stuff as well. So yeah, we're working really good together, and he's helping with me filming some videos and stuff. So yeah.
Cool. Next one, same guy at the Trail Butler. How mad was your girlfriend when she found out that you bleached your hair?
Whoa.
Is she still your girlfriend?
Yeah. I was kind of afraid there for a while that she would, get rid of me. But no. Now she's kind of used to it. Now she thinks it's kind of cute, because I kind of colored it again, because it was like chicken yellow when I got done with it, and now it's at least it's like white/gray now, so kind of looks a bit normal. Not everyone is looking at me when I'm going outside of my door at home. So no, she was angry for a while, and now she kind of likes it.
Awesome. Next one, at living.I believe. Sorry if I've got your Instagram handle wrong. When are you coming to Germany, and are you riding Dirt Masters?
Oh, yeah. I want to go back there for sure. It's been a couple of years since I got there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I want to go there. That would be awesome to bring Theo and stuff, because we always get that question if we're coming there. Because the Germans are big on biking, if you didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice. Maybe. All right. Well, we're going to leave this dude hanging on that one.
Yeah.
Keep watching his videos. You'll find out. Next one, at IC_19XX. What's more important, style or tricks?
Style for sure. Like someone is. This one is always such a tough one to talk about. But if I see two persons do a trick, like a 360, for example, the one person is just doing a 360, and then the other person is doing a no style with like tweaking it out a little bit. Obviously, that one's going to be more impressive. And style to me has always been something that I'm always like striving for. I always like, if I film a clip, I'm going to look at it, I'm like, wow, that didn't look good at all. So I kind of want to try to do it again and make it look better. So I don't know. Style is, if you can do a lot of tricks with no style, it's not as impressive as if you can do it with style. Okay. I think.
Good answer.
I don't know.
No, it's good answer. Next one, at S4M Rump. Wow, we have some crazy Instagram handles here. At what point did you realize you could make a career out of riding bikes?
I think it must have been when I saw Martin when I was young, and when he was kind of like a superstar back in the days. He was like like he was probably 18 or 19, and we were super young, all of us. And then we saw him buying cars, we saw him spraying champagne and stuff on the contest, and we were like, whoa, we could make a living out of this. And that's, since then, I think the dream kind of like was set, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. But let's have a look what else we got. At m.herv, how did you find the motivation to come back after all of your injuries, and are you able to send it as before?
Yeah, that's a question that I get a lot. The motivation to get back has always been that I'm not done. Like, I know that I can do a lot more than I've done on contest, and I know that I can do a lot more than I've done on video, and I still I'm not nowhere close on the level that I want to be with my biking, and I'm still young, so I think that's my motivation, is just like that I'm nowhere close to being done. And yes, I feel like I'm sending it harder now than before, because now, before I got injured, I was kind of always a little bit scared of getting injured, but now I'm like, well, if I get injured, it's gonna take some time, but then I'm gonna bounce back from it.
Cool. It's a good mindset, man. Nice. Next one, at Luca Epping, what is your favorite skate park in the world?
In the world, okay. That's probably Corby Skate Park in England.
Really?
That one, or Spot of Tallinn in Estonia. That's two best ones I've ever ridden, I think.
Nice. Corby's cool, but Corby's rad.
Yeah, that's probably the best ones, but I think I still love the one I have at home the most, because it's just so much sentimental value.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay, what else we got? We've got at Richie Rich. Hang on, what is this? At Richie Richer King. Wow. Can you ever start dirt jumping too late and still become good at tricks?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, yeah, look at Nyquist. He started when he was almost 40, right? But yeah, I guess that's a pretty bad example. But no, I think you can do whatever you want, I think. Just if you have fun, you're gonna progress, and then yeah, that's how you learn trick. You have fun with your mates, and then it's gonna end up well.
Yeah. Okay, we've got a couple here that we've answered actually while we've been chatting, so I'm going to skip those. Felix, the question you've answered, we've talked about it in depth. Next one, at Robbie Cook. This is good actually. How do you push past the voice inside you saying you can't do something? How do you keep yourself motivated from day to day? And do you have any tips for someone who hopes to be pro someday? Oof.
Oh, okay, yeah. The first one, I would say, you just have to be patient. It's not like all the pro riders are going to the skate park or to the airbag and like, yeah, today I'm gonna try a triple whip. It's not like I'm gonna land it first day. It's gonna take ages. It's gonna take at least half a year to learn a trick and then master the trick so you can do it at a contest. That's like a year of progress. So I think just be patient and don't forget about having fun and just trust the process. And then yeah, as long as it's fun, you're going to have that spark that is going to tell you to keep pushing, probably.
Cool, man. Good answer. That's pretty much it for listener questions. But before we wrap up, we're coming pretty close to Crankworx Road to Rotorua. So,
yeah.
So how are you feeling, man? Like, you know, what are your goals coming in 2019, etc.?
Well, it's a weird one with Rotorua actually, because it's my first real contest back.
Yep.
And it was also the one that I broke myself on. But yeah, I think at first, like I'm not gonna like hold back too much. I think it's not just because I've been injured. I shouldn't like. People are like, oh, so you're gonna take it super chill, just make it down. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go to a contest where it's like the top 14 riders in the world and do like a shitty run. That's not what I want to do. So I kind of want to push it as hard as I can, and then if I land the first run, I'm gonna open up the new stuff for the second. I think. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna go pretty hard.
Sweet, yeah. Sweet. So there's some stuff in the bag ready to unveil, right?
Yeah, I've been working pretty hard lately on some new stuff, so I think it's gonna be fun. I'm just gonna. My main focus is just to like enjoy the contest though, not stress about. I don't need a result. I'm just gonna go there, and if I land a run that I'm happy with, then I'm happy by the end of the day, even if I'm last. So yeah.
Awesome, dude. Amazing. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure sitting and chatting to you, mate. Like, I want to wish you all the best for 2019. Is there anything you want to promote? Like, where can people find you? What, just shout out some stuff. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I would love to shout out my mom and dad for all the support. Cool. And my girlfriend. And then also like all my sponsors and my management. They're the best. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. And yeah, you can find me on Max Fredriksson on like Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube as well. Okay. Awesome. Trying to do three videos a week on YouTube. So
oh yeah,
you can check that.
Hauling.
Two or three.
I'll for everyone listening, all Max's links are in the show description too. So just scroll down, you'll find everything there. All the videos we've talked about will all be there. You can just click through and drop your follow. And again, man, like massive thank you for taking the time out for a chat. I want to wish you all the best, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure. You're a top young man. Like. You're going to kill it this year, dude. I can feel it. It's coming. I can feel it.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Wait there. Yeah. We're going to wrap this up. Hang on one sec. And there we have it, friends. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Hook It Podcast with Max. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please head over to iTunes, leave a review, and you might be in with a chance of winning yourself some Sax underwear. Don't forget to check out 35bikes.com. Enter that promo code podcast to get 20% off your entire order. And also, most importantly, if you don't already, head over to Instagram or Facebook and drop us a follow. And if you have enjoyed this episode, just share it with your friends. You can send whatever you want to do. Share it in your Instagram stories or whatever. And yeah, it's cool to see that when that happens. And reach out, drop us a message, let Max know that you listened. And all that sort of stuff makes a huge difference to helping the podcast grow. This is, after all, the People's Podcast. All right, guys, have a great rest of your week and weekend, and we will see you on the flip side for a very, very, very special episode number 70. Peace out.